welcome to the Mega Podcast, where we delve into the inspiring stories of entrepreneurs, motivational coaches, and business leaders. Join us as we hear about their journey to success and the challenges they faced along the way. We'll uncover their secrets to perseverance and determination and gain valuable insights into what it takes to reach your goals. The journey may not be beautiful, but it is always purposeful. So sit back, relax, and be ready to be inspired by those who have dared to dream big and make it a reality. Epa! Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new Mega Podcast, the A.M.P. And today we have an amazing guest. My friend here is been a Marine, right? He's an entrepreneur. He's a mentor. He's a coach. He's a God-made millionaire. I am proud to present the one and the only, el señor Edwin Carrion. Wepa, how you doing?
Woo! Hey, I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me here. And to everyone listening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever part of the world you're listening to me and to Mr. Omega.
Well, thank you for coming on, Edwin, and sharing your journey and story with us, man. I reading up on you. I'm like, wow, uber impressed. Self-made man, kudos. Woo. Coming from someplace else and taking advantage of the American dream, baby, making it
Yes,
happen.
sir.
Love it. So talk about those origins for people not in the know. Where you originally from, and then what was the first entrepreneurial thing you ever did in your life?
Perfect, perfect. But thank you for that amazing intro. And before I answer your question, let me just fix one thing. And then I am not self-made, and that is the reason that I call myself a God-made millionaire because I realized a long time ago that no one is self-made. That the ones that are successful, whether it's in business and relationship and life, we are successful because of the people that are helping us come along the way, because the mentors that we had along the way. So I never, ever again, I stopped using the title self-made a long, long time ago.
God,
And I started
love
really giving credit to God and to all the people that have helped me get to where I am today. And
beautiful.
I just kind of wanted to clarify that one first. And
No,
then
no,
moving on
beautiful, bro.
to answer you, I was born in Ecuador, um, raised by a single mother, came to the United States at the young age of 12 years old, raised in a very humble home. And those were my humble beginnings. But when you ask, when did I start my entrepreneurship journey, I could tell you that as an entrepreneur, I started at the age of 15 years old or 14 years old. As a hustler, I know I started way before that, just kind of like when I was going to school, selling candies, selling the ice cream that my mom would pay for. So as a hustler at a very young age, as an
Love
entrepreneur
it.
that I could say I consider myself as an entrepreneur, 15 years old.
Okay. And what happened at 15? What was it exactly at 15 that you did? I love that candy hustle because I kind of did the same thing. That and comic books. I was doing that at about 12.
Oh, nice. Yes, yes. And I think we all go through those phases, right? Where we try to hustle and do little things. But at 15 years old, my best friend at the time, he comes to me, he's like, we always loved music, we love DJing. And he comes to me, he's like, hey, I got us a party. They're gonna pay us $200 for 4 hours, meaning
Hey,
$50 an hour. And when we're talking about a few years ago, $50 an hour for a 15-year-old kid is a lot of money, right?
oh heck
So
yeah.
that's when I started the DJ business. And that was like my first real venture, real company, the DJ business that lasted for like all the way until I was 19.
Oh wow, 19. All right. So what transpired at 19? That did you change lanes? Something else came across? What happened?
Yeah, yes, and 19 years old is when I joined the Marines.
Oh, thank you
And
for your service. For
no,
sure,
my
my brother.
pleasure.
Gracias.
No,
Appreciate
thank you,
that.
con mucho. But it was an honor to do that, and it's a huge pride of mine to be able to have served my country, to be able to earn the title of the United States Marine because it's a title that is earned, not given.
Heck
And
yeah.
I did that for 4.5 years, and then when I left the Marine Corps, when I finished my tour of duty, I went back into entrepreneurship again.
Oh, nice. What? Okay, so you come out the Marines fresh face. Now you got this military type sternness to you. So, what did you attack when you came out?
Real estate, real estate,
Real
and
estate. Ooh,
and
nice.
one of the things, and I'm sure you heard this many times, you have to be the right person at the right time, right? But I think if you add one more little thing to that saying, I believe that you have to be the right person at the right place at the right time. And it sure happened for me to be that the right person, the right place at the right time, because when I left the Marines in 2002, that's when the real estate market started to climb. So
Boom. Yeah.
I was able to take advantage and ride that wave all the way to the top. And not only did I ride all that wave all the way to the top, but also I rode it all the way to the bottom because I was very young and I was very inexperienced. So I made millions and I lost millions. I went bankrupt at the young age of 27 years old.
Oh, whoa. So you were riding on that wave between 1927 and then boom. Oh,
Yes.
no. Whoa. And how did that impact you and how did you deal with that?
Impacted me in a huge way. And I could tell you right now that that has been the one of the biggest blessings in my life, going bankrupt, and not only going bankrupt, but also coming from the Marine, being in debt, growing a business to over $20 million in assets, and then losing everything and going bankrupt, going back to the beginning again. And
Oh,
the
wow.
reason it was a huge blessing for me is because at that moment I was using the title that you use at the beginning, self-made.
Okay.
At that moment, I was focused into the money, not into having a fulfilled life like I do now. At that moment, I wasn't taking care of myself. I was only focused into the money. So to me, it was a huge blessing because it made me realize that I always have to be humble. I have to give credit and grace to God and to everybody else that helps me along the way. And that I have to live my life to the fullest, that I have to have a fulfilled life because money is not going to give you the happiness. It's going to help you have the things that you want, but the happiness have to come within you because you're working on yourself and you're accomplishing all the things that you always dreamed of as a kid.
Okay. So once that happened and you found that moment, how long before you found out the respark to pick yourself up and start again?
Uh, Fortunately enough, it wasn't long enough. It didn't take that long. It took a few months. I was down. I was telling myself what a loser I was. How did I make that mistake? I'm never gonna make money again. I'm never gonna do it again. Like, how am I gonna get back to the top? Like, I had my chance and I lost it, right? That's what I thought. Until one day I went to a, I'm the type of person that loves learning. Always constantly learning, always constantly improving.
Yes.
And one of the things that, and I always like to leave this quote that is that as time changes, the good thing is that you have to improve the time, not change with time. And that is the big key in between those two things. So I always continue improving, educating myself, learning. And I went to the seminar, and in the seminar, it made me realize, like, wow, Edwin, look at everything you accomplished without having a mentor. Look at everything that I accomplished without having the knowledge, without having the training. You did everything on your own, like pushing yourself, learning yourself, teaching yourself, but also you were able to build a
Amazing.
great support system. And if you did it once, you could do it again. And the moment that I had that mind shift, that mind switch of thinking that I could do it again, the opportunities just started coming my way. And in 2008. So I went bankrupt end of 2007, the market crashed. Middle of 2008, a good friend of mine from the Marines comes to me. He's like, Edwin, I have a great business opportunity. Do you have any money? And knowing what I know, knowing what I learned, I was not going to pass out on the opportunity of listening to a business pitch, a great business
Yes.
opportunity, like he called it. So I'm like, yeah, what is it? So he told me what the business opportunity was. He told me it was in the gold buying business. I asked him, how much money do we need? He's like, we need $300,000. I'm like, don't worry. I went out, I raised $300,000 in a month, and we
Oof.
started into the gold buying business. And in less than 2 years, we took the business uh, 14 stores throughout the United States, created a franchise model. We
What?
were we were we were making uh, uh, $1 million a month. We were we grew that company so fast. I was able to exit that company in 2014. I retired for the first time in my life at 31 years old.
What?
And
Nice.
And it was a great comeback because I knew the mistakes that I made, and I make sure that I learn from those mistakes and don't and did not make the same mistakes again.
Gotcha. All right. So you're talking about you retire. So let's what's a typical day for you like nowadays then, if you
No, no, no.
retired?
Well, the retirement didn't that last long. I mean,
He said, hell no.
as an entrepreneur, there's always something that you want to do, right? There's always something
Wonderful.
new. So at that time, what happened was that I went back into doing the things that I love, which was building into the development, building multi-million dollar mansions. And when I was building multi-million dollar mansions, I loved that business because it had a purpose this time. This time wasn't all about making money. It was out, what is the purpose? So the purpose for building multi-million dollar mansions was that everybody wants their dream house, right? So I was fulfilling the American dream. I was fulfilling somebody else's dream by building their dream home.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and and I started realizing that even in the prior business, in the gold buying business, that if I have a business where I'm serving people, where I'm helping people out, there's abundance in that. And that's exactly so. I sold my real estate development company in 2017. So I retired for the second time in my life.
Whoa.
Uh,
Well, wow.
and then I love telling the story because once I really retired on the second time in my life, what I did was like I told my wife I was married and I had a couple of kids by then. I had my two daughters, which I love dearly. I told my wife, it's like, honey, I'm going to be a stay-home dad, and she's like, a very supportive wife. She's an amazing wife. She's super supportive of me. She lets me do whatever I want, like as far as crazy business and everything else.
Yeah.
So she's like, sure, but what you have to do is wake up the kids in the morning, get them ready, take them to school, do their lunch, pick up the laundry, make sure the house is. So she gave me a whole honey-do list, right? So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll figure something out. Let me find something to do.
Am I really retired?
Right. So then, the biggest, but the biggest eye-opening for me when I heard that was that as men, a lot of us men, we do not value what women do for us, what
Yeah,
our mothers, what our significant others do for us, because they do such a great job and such an amazing job and such a hard job that we have to be thankful and we have to be grateful for everything that they do in our lives to make our lives easier because at the end of the day our job is to be good men, be good providers, and be there for them.
absolutely. Agree 110%. Having had a strong wife, beautiful, strong daughter, you know what I mean? Strong mama. So I understand 150%. So we got to support our ladies, all right? So,
Yes, sir.
so,
Yes.
so then now you really retired? You really stopped, or what are you doing now?
No, no, I don't think I'm going to retire, right? Because you always hear the saying, if you're doing what you love, you're never working, right? And that's what I do. I do what I love.
Okay.
I own a couple of businesses, and my businesses, each one serves a purpose, and it's having that clarity. What does your business do for you? What purpose does it serve? If you work for a company, what does this company that I work for, what does it serve for me, right? What purpose does it serve? So once I got to know that clarity, what each one of my businesses do, then it's a great tool. So I'll share those with you. For example, right now I own a transportation company, and my
Okay.
transportation company is my cash flow. That gives me my cash flow business. So it serves the purpose of giving me cash flow. My development company, it serves the purpose of wealth creation. I continue creating my wealth from the cash flow that I take from the transportation company. I continue creating my wealth. And last but not least, my mentoring and business consulting company, where I'm able to give back to young entrepreneurs, to entrepreneurs that have hit a ceiling, to entrepreneurs that don't know how to grow a company, how to scale a business, how to sell a business. Uh, I'm able to give that back to them by teaching them the strategies, the secrets, the process that I have implemented in all of my businesses for them to become successful.
I mean, you mean the stuff from this website here?
Yes.
This is where they could go. And folks, look how simple it is. All you gotta do is visit the website edwincarrion.com. It's also below. You could click away. Easily clickable for you to visit, folks. Let's talk about this website. I mean, look how dope. I mean, yeah, programs, ventures, a podcast, income streams. Talk about this. An author. Look at this guy. He's doing everything. This guy this guy will never retire, folks. Apparently, he retires. They can't pull him out the game. He's like the Godfather. That's when I thought I was out.
Yes, that pulled me right back in, right?
All right, so talk about your books and all. Like, do you have speaking engagements? What's going on in the life of Edwin Carrion?
Yes, very fortunate. I wrote two books. The first book that I wrote is called Secrets of the Millionaire Gold Buyer. And that book was when I sold my gold buying business, I realized that people need to understand a type of business that is recession proof. So buying gold is a recession proof type of business. And
Okay.
even if you don't want to take a look at it as a business type, you could look at it as a wealth creation vehicle, right? Like I was mentioning, each one of your things should be a way for you to create wealth. So this book teaches you the same steps, the same strategies that not only I was able to take a business and replicate it and grow it to 12 stores, to 14 stores and a franchise model, but it teaches you how I did that, and it teaches you how to be able to invest in precious metals to have a wealth creation vehicle. And it's a type of business that it works during a recession. And as you know, as we're recording this podcast today, we are headed in a recession. You know, a lot of
Yes.
people don't see that we are in a recession already, but things are going to get worse. And
Yeah,
this is
I
the
understand.
business that is going to help you thrive in those moments.
I mean, the news came out today, right? That the Chinese monetary dollar kind of doing a little bit better today than the U.S. dollar.
It is, and it's been
Yeah.
going on for weeks. So that's
Uh,
that. And then after that, the second book that I wrote, which is called Nine Secrets for a Successful Life and Business, is just that. You know, what are the secrets to success? Always people ask, you
Wonderful.
know, how do what do you do? How do you do to become successful? And through my mentoring, you know, these are secrets and techniques that I have implemented and make sure that ingrained into the people that I mentor, but also talking to my group of millionaire friends, talking to them, we all share the same secrets, and
Nice.
they're basic secrets that I want people to know and learn.
Excellent. And that's why I want people to see this, the mentoring. Oh, look at that. Is that your boat right there? Because I know you said that in the bar you're into boating, huh?
Yes, that is my yacht. Yes, sir. That is my yacht, and
Beautiful.
that's
Check that out.
and we hold mastermind events in the yacht and create amazing experiences and all of that.
Oh, that's awesome. So I gotta ask you, and folks, you gotta visit this awesome site. So you've done all this stuff. You have this wonderful journey. Is there anything you wish you could have done differently?
No, I don't.
So look at that. A
Uh,
mouth, no
uh, uh,
regrets.
yes, and the reason why, because if I think if I think back in my life at this moment, and I will say, you know, I would like to change this in my life, or I would love to do this differently, I wouldn't be here today. My life wouldn't be the one that it is today.
Okay, okay. So how have your priorities changed from the beginning to now, then, based on what you're doing today?
My priorities, you know, they change. Priorities, I don't know if priorities, but I will say maybe goals, right? Goals change. So as we progress, as we improve, certain things that we wanted before, we don't want them now. Certain things that we value more before, they're not as valuable as other things. So my priorities now is creating amazing experiences with my family, with my kids, living, being able to give a lot of value, like jump in as many podcasts as I can, because I know
Yes.
that down the road, down the future, somebody's going to listen to this. Somebody that is going through a hard time, somebody's going through a divorce, somebody that doesn't believe in God, and they're going to realize that God is going to give us the desires of our heart. Somebody's going to listen to this that doesn't believe in themselves, and they're going to understand, oh wow, Edwin that comes when all odds were against him, look where he's at right now. I just have to believe in myself, and I could be successful like him because I grew up better than him. You know, I'm very fortunate enough to be married and just celebrating my 12-year anniversary. You
Woo!
know, and growing up without a father, raised by a single mom, you know,
Oh,
those odds are huge of me being divorced by now. And you know, and it's all those things, all those negative beliefs that a lot of people have. It's just kind of leaving the legacy behind of letting them know, hey, you can change your life. And
Yeah.
maybe somebody doesn't hear this now, but maybe somebody hears this podcast 10 years from now. And if I'm able to change their life 10 years from now, that's amazing for that.
I agree 110%. So, when you talking about changing lives, will you be doing any speaking engagements anytime soon in person where we could see you speak
Uh,
and pick up some of
I,
these books in person?
Yes, I do. I do quite a few speaking events throughout the year. It just depends where they are. I know my next speaking event is going to be somewhere in the UK. I have another one
Okay.
coming up in Puerto Rico, where you're from. So I have a nice speaking
Hey,
event coming up
wepa.
Puerto Rico the end of
Nice.
May. But a lot of those events that I'm speaking at, they're more like private events, private corporate events or private events. But yes, I mean, follow me in the social media channels. You'll see when I have a speaking event that you're able to come to, and by all means, you're all welcome to.
Beautiful. So I just a couple more questions here, and I love this one over here. How do you determine the difference between a good deal and a bad deal?
Oh, I love this question, and the reason I love this question is because um, people always ask, right? I don't know if this is a good deal. People that are starting in business, people that are getting into real estate, people that are getting into the
Yeah.
wholesaling, or people that are getting into the car selling business, right? They're afraid of taking that jump, that leap of faith, because they're like, oh, I don't know if it's a good deal. I don't know. So the first thing you have to do is you have to analyze what is your risk tolerance.
Okay.
Does it fit within your guidelines and your criteria? So to me, for example, a good deal could be 10% return on investment. So anything that I find that it gives me 10% return on investment, it's a good deal.
Okay.
But maybe for you, it's not good enough 10% return on investment. So I could give you the most safe, secure deal in life or investment in life that is going to give you 10%. But if your risk tolerance and is not fixed for that 10%, then you're not going to go with it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to figure out what is my risk tolerance. If I'm going to invest $10,000, what am I willing to risk? Am I
Okay.
willing to risk 10% of that? Am I willing to risk 50% of that? Am I willing to risk everything?
Yeah.
And then it becomes a risk to reward ratio, right? The more that you risk, the bigger the reward is going to be.
Gotcha. And in your life, what has that percentage been like? You know.
My life is 100% risk to reward, and
Beautiful.
but it's a calculated risk, right? It's two things. It's a two thing. Um, the number one thing is that when I got married and I had my kids, my wife gave me an ultimatum, and the ultimatum was, as long as we have the house paid for, as long as we have the kids' college paid for, you could do whatever you want. Like you
Okay.
could risk as much as you want. So I made sure that those milestones, those priorities were taken care of first.
Awesome.
So I couldn't risk 100% then because I had to take care of those things first. Those were my milestones, right?
Of course.
Now that those milestones are set, my risk tolerance is 100%. So if I'm going to put my money into something, I'm willing to risk losing 100% of that, but I know that I'm going to make 100% return on investment. But my risk is calculated risk. It's a calculated risk. I make sure that I cross all the I's. I mean, I dot all the I's, cross all the T's, like people say. And I just
Yes.
make sure it's a calculated risk. Make sure that I know what I'm getting into. Make sure it's something I have knowledge in as well.
See, there you go, folks. So you hear him. So get into it. Know, understand what you're willing. What gets you nervous? A lot of people very nervous about that. You know what I mean? So this
Yes.
is my last one here for you because here I see your journey. You're saying you're self-taught, in this sense. Beautiful on that. Just like me, like I didn't go to school for none of this. Everything I've learned, the school of Google. You know what I mean? Um, do you really need money then to start a business?
Um, So that's a two-part question. Do you really need money to start a business? And most of the time, 90%, 98% of the time, you do need money to start a business.
Okay.
But the question you have to ask yourself is, do you need to have the money to start the business that you want to? And that's the most important thing, right? A lot of people get stuck and they don't do what they want to do in life because they get stuck. Oh, I need to have the money to start a business. No, you don't need to have the money to start the business. the business needs the money to be started. And going back to the story that I share after I went bankrupt, I had no money, right? But I had to start a business that I needed $300,000 investment. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have the money. The business needed the money. So what did I do? I went out there and I raised $300,000 and I started the business. So that answers your question. Do you need to have money? No, you don't. Does the business need money? It might.
There we go. So think about the business, not yourselves, folks.
Yes.
The business must survive. I learned that from a wonderful entrepreneur that I worked for that taught me things about, make the business look big. Let me tell you that if you looked at the websites and everything, you would think this guy had a huge warehouse. It was just me and him. I love that he created this whole illusion phone system. It was wonderful, and it's true. Just build it, make it happen. You know.
Yes.
So, and I dig your energy, Edwin. For
Thank you.
real. And folks, the custom put is this is how you go hook up with Edwin. You can visit the website. All right. Easy. Edwin Carrion is also below. Check out on Meta at Edwin Carrion 1978 and on Instagram at Edwin Carrion 78. And we gotta know what is this all about right here? Because you say join the Startup to Millions Facebook group. So talk about that Facebook group. What happens? What's going on?
Yes. Again, um, I'm huge in real estate because I'm a real estate developer. I've been doing real estate development for only 22 years now, and but I became an expert in business, and I became an expert in business scaling. So one of the things that I wanted to give back was I created a Facebook group, which is called a Startup to Millions, for anybody that wants to start a business, anybody that's starting a business. You become part of this community of entrepreneurs where you could ask questions, you get answers to your questions, and you get some teaching from me, you get some guides from me on what are the steps that you need in order to start a business and take that business to the millions.
Ooh. Ooh, so is this like anyone could just ask a random question, and they'll be answered randomly? It's a nice
Yes,
group like that. Oh, nice, nice, nice.
yes,
Do you do any like group meets at all with the
yes.
people?
Not on that group, but I do have an inner circle that is
Hey,
by invitation only. We have an inner circle. We have an online program which we do group coaching, and
awesome.
it's called Startup to Millions 365 because it's a whole year program that
Oh, wow.
it only costs you $1 a day. So if you're able to
Okay.
invest $1 in yourself, so you could improve, so you could know the right steps, get the guides, and it's also for those that do not know what kind of business to start. I have two types of businesses in there that it teaches you how to make money, how can you get your $365 return on investment right away.
Oh, wow. Only $1 a day, folks. That is less than the cost of your Starbucks coffee. You feel me?
Yes,
I
everybody's
mean,
spending like $5, $6 a day in coffee.
you know what I
Um,
mean? That's a week's
yes,
worth of lessons, folks, right there. That you're drinking away. How dare you? Go scale up to millions right here with Edwin for less than the cost of a cup of coffee, your daily cup. You know what I mean? For real, and empower yourself. Let's
yes,
build up. Let's get motivated. Let's inspire others. Let's build together a better world. I love what you're doing, Edwin. Just as a person that is inspired by entrepreneurs, thank you for sharing your knowledge with us and putting stuff out there for your service and and just giving it that good old wepa.
thank you, I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So, folks, once again, join the Startup to Millions Facebook group. Check it out. All right. If you're interested in the inner circle, you can probably might find that information over at the website. But, follow over here on the socials very importantly. Show him the love. Awesome entrepreneur. Ask questions away. He is there in service of the people, baby. I mean, he's
Yes,
twice
sir.
retired, but then not really because he's still out there. He about to do his third book. Do we have another book coming, Edwin?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. The thing that is coming right now, as we're speaking right now, I'm actually coming live to you from Cali, Colombia. It's I'm
Hey.
transitioning and we're moving to live to Colombia with my family for a couple of years,
Oh,
and
wow.
because I'm starting to open up the Spanish market, I see a huge need, a huge lack into the Spanish market, into
Yes.
development, business development. So I'm actually starting to work with that with some great, well-known speakers and companies.
Oh,
So
that's
more of
awesome.
that to come.
I love to, yeah, man. Colombia and Puerto Rico be getting along, man. They be, especially in music, they
Oh
support our gente,
yes,
and, we connected, so
yes,
I'm digging it. Latinos Unidos, let's make it happen, because that's what
yes,
it
sir.
should be. We'll be so powerful. People don't realize it. We just, stop
No,
fighting. All right. So I really appreciate your time, Edwin. You're awesome, folks. You know what it is. Again, I already all the socials are below. Be sure to check out, my extended family over at comiccrusaders.com and also at undercovercapes.com. And if you love what you're hearing here, all you gotta do is subscribe and turn on notifications when I speak to amazing entrepreneurs like Edwin. All right. Thank you again, Edwin. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Much love.
thank you.
Wepa! Bye. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Al Mega Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed listening to the insights and stories from our guests. Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. And every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Don't give up on your dreams and keep pushing forward. Until next time, thank you for tuning in and stay motivated.